Hey guys, Alan Williams here. Hey, we're going to cover something today that we think there's a lot of confusion about in the marketplace, and that is estimated closing costs for a seller. Anytime that we sit down with someone that's considering putting their house on the market, one of the things that we go over at that first appointment is what are your estimated closing costs? We want to make sure that the seller knows if they get a certain amount for their house, what are they going to walk away with so they can be sure that they know if they want to put the house on the market and what exactly they are going to get when they walk away from the closing table. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about right up front is, guys, these are estimated seller's closing costs. There's a lot of things that can go into having these numbers be a little bit more or a little bit less. It could be the title company that you use and their fees. It could be your homeowners association and what they charge for transfer fees. It could be the price of your house. There's several things that factor into it. We're trying to give you some ballpark estimated costs so that you know if you sell your house for $500,000, you'll have a pretty good idea of what you're going to walk away with. And I'll tell you, there's nothing worse for a seller when they leave the closing table and they look at their check and they say, why is this so much less than what I thought I was going to get? We always try to do a good job for you as your agent to make sure that you know before you even put the house on the market what that's going to look like. And I'll tell you, if you have an agent already and you're getting ready to list your house, or if you already have it on the market, please be sure to ask them, if they haven't talked to you already, what your estimated closing costs are so that you know. So let's get right at it. The first thing we're going to talk about is title insurance. For the seller, that's called an owner's policy. On a $500,000 house, you're going to be looking at about $1,000 for the owner's policy. It could be a little bit less with some title companies, could be a little bit more, but I think a good range is probably around $1,000 for a $500,000 home. The next thing we're going to talk about is probably one of the things that gets people the most confused, and that's property taxes. Indiana is one of 5 states in the U.S. that you pay your taxes this year for the time that you lived in it the previous year. So you pay in 2022 for the taxes of when you lived in the house for 2021. So let's be real safe, and I'm going to make it real clear for you and real easy. Plan on you paying about a year's worth of property taxes at closing. Now pick yourself up off the floor. There's some light at the end of the tunnel. If you escrow in your monthly payment for your property taxes, there's a good chance that you're going to get a refund for part of that from the mortgage company within about 30 days of closing. Now do yourself a favor. Pick up the phone and call your mortgage company and ask them, hey, if I closed on the house on March 10th, about how much would be left over in my escrow account? They'll be able to give you a pretty good idea. If you're the type of person that pays your taxes outside of your payment, you just send a check in the spring and you send another one into the fall to the county, or if you have your home paid off and you're sending those payments in, do yourself a favor and call the county and go through the same exercise. Let them know, hey, if I closed on the house in March 10th, about how much would I have to pay in property taxes at closing? And they should be able to give you a really good guide. So that's a really important one. 12 months worth of property tax is a lot of money, guys. So make sure that you have a very clear understanding on that. The next thing we're going to talk about is agent commissions, your real estate agent's commissions. You have some agents that are going to charge less. You're going to have some agents that are going to charge more. I'd say we're right in the middle. One thing that I would say, though, is really look at what your agent is going to provide to you for that commission rate. I think we have one of the best packages in Central Indiana for the most marketing that we do for our clients, and we charge a very fair commission. In Indiana, commissions are negotiable. The other thing we're going to talk about is miscellaneous title company fees. Okay, so you're going to have processing fee. Some title companies call that a search and exam. You're going to have deed prep. You're going to have a CPL. You're going to have closing fees. All of those added up figure about $600. You're going to have, again, some title companies will charge less or more, but figure about $600. The other thing that you're going to want to do is call your mortgage company and find out what your loan payoff is. Again, if you closed March 10th, how much would the loan payoff be? And then I'm going to do you a favor. Add $500 to that because they always seem to add a little bit more. And when they get their payoff of the loan from the title company when you close, whatever is left over from that, they will send you that back again within 30 days. One thing I did fail to mention, guys, is on the property taxes and the escrow. When you talk to the lender, be sure to ask the lender when they provide the loan payoff to the title company, do they apply that escrow credit towards your loan payoff, or do they send you a check for that amount? Most often than not, the mortgage companies are going to send you a check for the escrow balance after closing. Again, you'll get that about 30 days after closing, but some do apply it to the loan payoff. So sometimes sellers think they're going to get a check when really it was already applied to the loan payoff. Make sure that you're clear on that. Now, these next things, guys, are going to be negotiable items. First thing is homeowners association transfer fees. I've seen that range anywhere from a few $100s to $1,500, and that's a fee that the homeowners association, your HOA, charges when there's a transfer in ownership of the property and membership to the homeowners association. There's also a letter that they provide to the title company where sometimes they charge $25 to $100 to get that letter to them. Those are things that you should know up front before you list your house and decide how are you going to tackle that with the buyer, because we're going to want to note that in the MLS. Here in Indianapolis, this is called the BLC, and we'll want to put that hey, we're going to split the transfer fee, or the seller's going to pay it. You should know that fee up front, and we should have a game plan for that. The next thing is a home warranty, a 1-year home warranty. On a house in a $500,000 price point, you're looking at roughly $600 for a home warranty. If you have a swimming pool, if you have a much larger square footage house, if you have 2 sets of appliances, such as a set in the kitchen and another set in the basement, those are all going to affect the price of that warranty. Now, you may be asking, why does someone need a warranty? Let's say that they purchased your house this time of the year. They can't test the air conditioner. So when they fire that on in early summer, if the air conditioner is not working, they're going to call the warranty company to send a crew out to fix it instead of calling you and saying, my air conditioner is not working. That is negotiable as well. The next thing would be a survey. Now, there's 2 types of surveys. The first one is a surveyor location report. That's basically a piece of paper that's going to show the outline of your lot, and it's going to show the house on the lot. The other thing that's important on that is it's going to show setback lines, and it's going to show drainage and utility easements. That is something that runs about $200 for that. Now, if they're asking for a boundary survey, that's where you're going to have an engineer come out and mark all of the corners of the lot. They're going to drive metal pins in the corners, and they'll be there forever. Those run a lot more. They're going to run ballpark about $1,000, depending on how large your lot is. If you've got a 4-acre lot, it's going to be more than that. But if it's your typical half-acre lot, you're probably looking in that $900 to $1,100 price point. Again, that's negotiable as well. Now listen, right now, guys, you know this is a seller's market, so you're in a great position. As your agent, we always try to make sure that some of these negotiable items are covered by the buyers. And honestly, the last few that I mentioned, the survey and the warranty, quite often the buyers are not asking for those things to be paid for by the seller because they want you to accept their offer. So we're not seeing that a lot, but sometimes that is on there. We want you to be aware of it. Next few things, also negotiable. The first thing would be inspection repairs. Listen, if you've got a house where your windows are bad, your roof is on its last leg, your HVAC system is hanging on by duct tape and chicken wire, there is a good chance that they're going to be asking you to make some repairs. So let's get a head start on that. Let's go ahead and get some estimates so that you know exactly what you're looking at, because if a buyer is going to come in with their estimates, they're always going to go high. Let's get a really clear understanding of what those costs are going to be and start thinking about that and factoring that into your game plan and strategy for pricing. As your agent, we are going to be coming back to them if we get an offer, and we're going to be negotiating to say, listen, guys, we'd like you to cover any inspection repairs that are under $1,000 to individually repair. Or we may say, we want you to cover the first $5,000 in inspection repairs. We're going to fight for you to keep as much of that equity as possible, but we do need to be cognizant of that. The next thing is a transaction fee. Sometimes it's called an electronic storage fee. That runs you anywhere from $175 up to $250. That's going to give you the ability to get those documents later and not have to worry about digging them out from a file that's in your attic underneath a bunch of other stuff. You'll easily be able to go get that information and have it available, which is important for you when it comes to tax season and things like that. And then the last thing, guys, buyer's closing costs. We're not seeing a lot of that in the seller's market, but at times, if it's a buyer and they're wanting a little bit of help with covering those closing costs because they're giving all of their money for down payment, they're going to ask for that. Again, we're not seeing it too much anymore, but something to be cognizant of. It is something that's negotiable, and all we have to do is sit down, add those line items together, and maybe we say, listen, we'll pay the closing costs, but we want $5,000 more in sales price to do that. We just need to come up with the right game plan for you to sell your house. So there you have it. The last thing I want to do is I want to give a plug to Indiana Home Title. That's our title company that we use quite often for our clients. They provide amazing service. And you know, when we ran all of these numbers, guys, we looked at Indiana Home Title. We took 3 different closings from them, put all of these fees together, divided it by 3 to get an average, and then we went and looked at 4 other larger title companies here in central Indiana. And here's the good news for our clients and realtors. You may want to listen to this also. Indiana Home Title's numbers came in about 20% less than those other 4 title companies that we looked at. So you're getting amazing service. You're saving your clients about 20% on closing costs. And we have several different locations for Indiana Home Title. We make it super easy for you. So there you have it, guys. Again, if you're thinking about listing your house, make sure you get these numbers covered. Real estate agents, if you want a great title company that's going to save your clients money, give Indiana Home Title a call. Hope you guys are doing well. We got some snow coming allegedly. We'll see. But if you need me, 317-339-2256. You can find me on IndyLuxuryHomes.com. We'll talk to you soon.